Good evening. My name is Laura Munoz, and I'm going to go through my instructional design plan. Unfortunately, I can't get this to actually do a slideshow. For whatever reason, it just won't load. So, isn't that about par for a professional learning course? Before we get started, I will just tell you a little bit about myself. My name is Laura Munoz. I'm recently married just a few months ago. My bachelor's of art is in English. I was a public educator for 9 years with the intent of moving into administration. However, I actually just moved into the senior living industry where I am focusing on dementia education and leadership. Still going to learn a lot and use this education that I am receiving to help educate others. So the course that I had developed is about addressing absenteeism in the classroom. The key institutional documents that I will use here would be the syllabus, the outline, learning objectives, because I do feel like those are necessary and vital if you're going to have a positive outcome. It makes it easier for the students to know what to expect if they are at least able to know what they're supposed to learn. Also, I am using the 3-column table for organization, and it's something that really helps me stay focused on what I'm doing. To start with, this would be for all subjects and all grade levels. The primary focus would be on a middle school campus with the intention of the plan being taken to both feeder schools, so both elementary and high school. But the middle school is an easy place to start, in my opinion, and you'll see as we go along. The intended audience would be all teachers and support staff on the campus of implementation. The design approach. I use the ADDIE approach, or ADDIE design for my digital learning course, mostly because the application of development, design, and implementation enhances instructional practices. Technology resources, applications, all of those things, we all feel like they're beneficial to education, but it's difficult when you don't know how to use it. So I can't even begin to tell you the number of times I have gone to professional learning where they're like, let's use this approach, let's use this app, let's use this technology. And that's the only time we see it, and it's the only time we're able to use it. That makes it a lot more difficult to make progress with your campus in the way that they're looking for if there's not follow through. So this is developed by me as a teacher on a campus. The intent is for teachers to run it and use it and then teach others how to do the same thing. The went for outcome-based education because you're leading educators to use technology to create a platform for student tutorials and to connect students to higher learning. So we're hitting a lot of different places here, but it also is all based on not just what you put into it, but obviously what the outcome would be as far as the expectations go. Who controls the learning? I will highlight the issue to the class and then lead the educators to guide themselves through the course asynchronously, mostly because it has to happen digitally and just for timing purposes, but the actual coursework takes place together. So teachers are put together in groups and then they're able to go through and work on their own when they have time. Otherwise, it makes it difficult for, a math teacher and an English teacher and a choir teacher to get together when nobody has the same conference period. This way, you are able to work together all through Google Suite and then everybody can see what everybody else has done. Because all the development of the platform will happen together through Google Suite, there will be like discussions, Q&A, online creation, and then the delivery of the final product using Microsoft's Flip. So everything will actually be done and turned in digitally, but the teachers, who are the students here, the teachers will be able to work together how they see fit, whatever works for their schedule. The 3-column table, this is the table that I created. So the foundational learning goals, teachers will identify the gaps in their class's performance via benchmark data and attendance in order to determine the need for tutorials and lowest performing skills. And then teachers will participate in discussion via the discussion board to compare data and work together to create a solution. So if you haven't heard of Microsoft's Flip, it used to be called Flipgrid. It is a video hosting application that you can use on an iPad, on a laptop, a Chromebook. It doesn't matter what kind of. I mean, you can do it on your phone. It is accessible through anywhere. And most districts are actually paying for it, or at least my previous district was, and it wasn't being used. So the intention here, before I get any further in the description of the 3-column table, the intention here on this professional learning is to create an online tutorial website through Microsoft's Flip as the video hosting app, where students who are, your honors, GT, NHS, NJHS, those particular students who are excelling in a class will create videos of tutorials. And then, of course, you, the teacher of that content area, would then monitor the video and make sure that it's not inappropriate in any way. And then post the video on the campus page. So the campus would have a page, and then each content and grade level and then content area would kind of be shelved in there, so that a 7th grader has to only go to the same website as an 8th grader, but they would then of course click on 7th grade classes and look at 7th grade math versus 8th grade algebra. Then the videos are posted, and that means if Susie is at home sick with the flu for 3 days, maybe her work is being sent to her but she doesn't know how to do it, then the videos are posted online and she can watch the tutorial videos from students who understand it and are able to explain it in a way that teachers might not be able to. So the foundational learning activities, after they have worked together to create a solution, then the teachers will view videos on YouTube for tutorials on their specific content. So myself being a previous ELA teacher, I would go in and look on YouTube for a video on how to write the best thesis statement. I would then find a video with the highest ratings and compare the quality of those videos and find which qualities make the videos most successful. And then in separate content areas, teachers will team up in small groups and develop a Google slide deck to teach others their findings from that particular activity. So what did you learn and why is it relevant? Formative assessment and self-reflection through partners, small group, and collaborative discussions. Administration and program leaders will monitor discussions and assignments. Applying the knowledge and learning goals. The goal would be for teachers to work collaboratively on a Google slide deck to create all elements of the virtual tutoring platform. Teachers will share different methods of creating videos for their individual content areas that will benefit their students' lowest performing skills. So starting at the very bottom, just like math is foundational, if you don't know how to add, then you're certainly not going to be doing algebraic equations. It's the same concept in ELA, the same thing in science. If you can't write a sentence, how can you write a paper? If you don't know the elements of, the periodic table, how are you going to talk about how they connect together? Those are all foundational, lessons that the students need to be able to understand. So the teachers will use the different methods of creating videos to help those students at the lowest level. We'll then apply knowledge, learning activities. Teachers will create a playlist on YouTube that includes all of the videos they found that were most successful in teaching content in their areas of expertise. They will work collaboratively on a slide deck to create a plan for their tutoring platform, and then teachers will explain how students creating the tutoring videos and watching them will benefit everyone. So defending their stance, like how is it going to make them successful? How is it going to make the students successful if they watch this tutorial from a peer on their campus versus Googling it or looking it up on YouTube, how to do the Pythagorean theorem? Well, that's difficult to do anyway if you're not a math person. But if you find a video that's made by a student on your campus that explains it a way that you could understand, how is that better? So that's what I'm looking for here. The assessment activities would be to develop a plan to cohesively create a digital tutoring platform for the entire campus. And then again, ongoing formative assessment and self-reflection and walkthrough by program leader and admin. The integration learning goals would be for the teachers to evaluate their plan by comparing it to other tutoring platforms and finding ways to improve the campus platform. You have to know what isn't working in order to know how to make your own product work the best. Teachers will discuss why the program they're developing is an improvement on what is already available. I want to know from teachers today, why is this going to be better than posting your tutoring hours and hoping that students show up? I did an entire article about economically disadvantaged students and why they can't get ahead, why they can't catch up or get ahead. And the large portion of that is that students are unable to come to school early. If they're economically disadvantaged, they probably ride the bus. And their parents are not able to drop them off early enough to get them to school for tutorials. And they are not able to pick them up after school for them to stay after school for tutorials. So if there's no way for them to come early or stay late, how are they going to get the help that they need? Teachers will create model videos for their content area and upload them to Padlet so that the entire professional learning class can approve or deny, this one is great because of this reason. Yes, it is embarrassing and difficult to put yourself out there, but if we're going to ask the students to do it, the least we can do is do it first ourselves. Foundational assessment here would be the implementation of learning plan with development of platform and separate audition video hosting. So that's where we go through and look at Padlet to determine whether or not we're seeing exactly what we're looking for. And then again, formative assessment ongoing and self-reflection, as well as walkthroughs by program leader and admin. The human dimension here is teachers observing each other's content videos and attempting to learn the skill being taught. I have been an ELA teacher for 9 years. I do not math. I'm not good at science. I know history, but only as it relates to English. I've never been interested in any other subjects. So if I can watch a video that can teach me how to do some kind of ridiculous algebraic equation, then that means that the kids can learn how to do it too. If I can do it, they can do it. We'll post assignments in Google Classroom for each other to complete based on the videos that are hosted on Padlet. So if you want me to learn how to do math, you're going to have to give me a worksheet and then point me to a video that's going to teach me how to do the worksheet, how to do the math in the worksheet, and see if I can do it. I'll post the assignment on Google Classroom, and then everybody has to do it, turn it in, and see who makes the best grades, I guess. The human dimension here, of course, is development of assignments and videos and creating slide decks for collaboration. And then the discussion, formative assessment, self-reflection, and walkthroughs. And last but not least is learning how to learn. Teachers will create the platform through Microsoft Flip with each content area in a separate section and one exemplar video posted by each teacher on a separate skill. So that means that all 8th grade algebra teachers would post an exemplar video of something else. Maybe one is the Pythagorean theorem and one is the quadratic equation. Those are my only 2 math terms that I know. And then the teachers post in Padlet a video reflection of how they believe this process will benefit their students. If you don't believe that it will, then that's cool too. I'd like to know about that as well. Self-reflective practices, what worked or didn't work, and then reflection on what was successful when collaborating, and the video posting on Padlet, and then continued formative assessment and walkthrough. The last thing is the schedule or outline. So the overarching course goal, or the big, hairy, audacious goal, is creating a digital platform for teachers to monitor and students to create and access tutorial videos on each content area. So the course information, of course, would have all of these things: the course description, syllabus, 3-column table, introducing ourselves, course guidelines, and resources. There would be 4 weeks, I believe. Well, that says 5, but yes, 4 weeks. And this, because it is asynchronous, of course, the assignments would be due like on a Sunday, kind of like how we're doing now. So why are our students falling behind in each content area? We would talk about it, the video, why tutorials are important, discussions, more videos. This is just kind of how we would go through the week, and then the assignment at the end of the week. Week 2 would be data to drive our video creation, identifying the gaps, performance on benchmarks, and comparing it to attendance data. I am curious about on your campus, what is the difference or the connection between your data and your attendance? I'm sure it'll be the same everywhere. Kids who are not at school as often don't do as well. There's no way for them to improve themselves if they're not at school. Also, why do we think makeup work is not effective in student learning? Would have best tutorials from students. Put teachers in groups outside of their content areas, create the slide deck, discussions, what are effective strategies for creating a video hosting platform, what elements do we need in order for it to be successful, and then the assignment at the end of the week. Week 3 would be development of videos and platform, the discussion, what makes a tutorial video successful. This is after viewing the YouTube videos. Work with a partner in your own content area to develop an example tutorial video where everyone makes the video teaching a different skill. And then, of course, this is when we watch the videos, we have discussion, what makes some more effective than others. The planning phase, we would discuss parameters for video submission by students. And then for homework, each grade level within a content area works together to develop their home page and submit their own tutorial video as an example. And then final reflection is contributions to learning. Why does it matter that we spent so much time developing this platform? How teacher buy-in affects student effort. Review a final platform in each content area's homepage, and then view sample videos and cheer each other on. And finally, the discussion, how should we monitor the efficacy of this program? Week 4 would happen in person. It would be one day after school, 1 hour, perhaps on like a teacher work day, or some districts have those built-in days. This would happen during one of those built-in days for professional learning. So everything happens before it. We come together at the end and actually get to spend some time looking through it. The very last thing would be for me to show you the actual website itself. So this is Flip. It used to be called Flipgrid. It's not anymore. These are the different things that you can see over here. I would love to show you. I did actually create a tutorial page for the campus I worked at last, but after I didn't work there anymore, they deleted all my information.